Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our April 13th County Council meeting. If you would, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on our agenda is our auditor's financial report.
Of course, this report is in your packet. I start with a financial statement, and we began 2021 with a general fund cash balance of $14,988,895. The projected miscellaneous revenue of $25,388,446, and with the property tax levy and then taking 97% of that to deduct for some unpayment of taxes, and with the circuit breaker of $1.5 million, our total available was $66,739,081. The encumbrances this year were $253,891, and when you deduct that along with the 2021 budget, the net budget after we take a little bit out is what we anticipate is unused budget. And the minimum balance, our beginning net balance, was $6,120,963. So far this year, we've granted additional appropriations of $955,201. We have $500,810 requested for this meeting. Miscellaneous expenditures so far this year of $61,451 give us a uncommitted funds balance for the general fund as of right now of $5,104,311. I don't have a lot of things that I had noted for this meeting. On the revenue side, you obviously know that the taxes, that's not much is going to be collected the first quarter of the year, as distribution of property taxes is in the second quarter, and some other things are coming in fairly regular in normal anticipated fashion. You get down there to charges and services where the recorder, I mentioned that last month, there's a lot of recordings so far this year, so they are doing extremely well. We get down to the end of the revenue, and we're 11% of what we had budgeted for the year, but that is about what we should be without having taxes included in there. We get down to the fund balances. I only had a couple things listed here. Fund 1000 is the general fund, and we're at just about $9.5 million of cash now, which of course is down from where it was a month ago, but that is doing really good. I believe the only other fund that I had listed was 4710, the health insurance fund, and we do have, and I talked to Shirley about that, we do have some larger claims, and so we are down about $500,000 from where we were a month ago, and hopefully this won't be a long-term thing. I don't think we've really turned the corner as far as, increasing the cash balance, but we do have some issues out there of some individuals that do bring that down. I believe that's all I had on the funds, and I don't know if I want to move on to my next section there, or if there's any questions about any of that.
Questions about any fund balances or report there?
Okay, the next thing we had in the packet was the 2020 budget calendar, and some of this is just for your information. The only date that I wanted to see if we could, at least by next month, get this down would be the evening hearing. That would be September the 2nd of 2021. We usually have a 6 o'clock public hearing, and if you could kind of check your calendars, I don't need to know necessarily this month, but by next month I really need to know, because we need to get the packets out, and when I send all the information to the departments, they certainly need to get this schedule as well. So That is the only thing that I had really that, budget hearings are on there, and I think we had talked about that for the August 24th, beginning then. Um, Those are the things that really the council would be heavily involved in, and you can see when we would send the packets out and that sort of thing. So that's all I have with that.
Okay, anything for Bob as far as questions? Hearing none. Next, Jennifer, our treasurer's report. Good morning.
Well, as Bob mentioned, we're just kind of trucking along. I don't have too much new to report. Interest rates are still the same. For the month of March, we had $53,333.51 in interest on our bank balances and investments combined. And this put us at about 13.1% of our forecasted budget for the year. We did bill property taxes. We got them printed and mailed out April 1st. And checking on collection rates, we are roughly about 5% this time of year. And that's right where we are as of right now, too. Online collections are up $1 million over what they were last year. And last year was our biggest year yet. So far, that's continuing to be a preferred way to pay. And is
Any questions for Jennifer? If not, thank you. Any public comment about any of our agenda items before us this morning? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and if there are any items that need to be removed from our consent agenda, please state those now, or I'll take a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Mr. President, I'd move that we accept the consent agenda as written.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Basham, a second from Councilman Murray to accept the consent agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? The consent agenda is now approved. Additional appropriations, Superior Court 6.
Mr. President, I move approval of the general fund appropriation for Superior Court 6 in the amount of $810.
I second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Winger, a second from Councilwoman Dolam to approve the additional appropriation for $810 for Superior Court 6. Discussion.
Yeah, the explanation is shown on the request here. Recommended approval.
Okay, any further comment, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved.
Mr.
Next one.
President, move approval of the grant appropriation request for Superior Court 6, Grant Fund 3170 as presented.
Second. I second.
Okay, I've got a motion on the floor from Councilman Winger, a second from Councilwoman Dolam to approve the additional appropriation for Superior Court 6 for fund, what was the number again? 3540? No, that's not. 9114? 9541. 49, excuse me. Yep, okay. All right. Get my numbers straight would be helpful. All right. Any further discussion? Coroner, salary statement.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2021 salary statement for the coroner for up to $16 part-time hourly administrative.
I'll second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Vernon, a second from Councilman Murray to approve the salary statement for the coroner up to $16 per hour, part-time hourly administrative. Discussion.
The coroner's here if there's any questions. Ben and I have had meetings with Carrie, and I think we've all heard on the news how busy we are, unfortunately, and this is something that's really needed, and she's got the money in her budget and may have to come back for some more later, but we need to get caught up, so Carrie.
We're having to get caught up on our death certificates, our cases being inputted, data entry.
The Bridge Fund 1135 appropriation in the amount of $10,153.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Richard, a second from Councilman Basham for the Cume Bridge Fund 1135 appropriation in the amount of $153. Stu.
Yeah, this appropriation from 1135 and then the following appropriation from 1176 are both related to overtime snow and ice removals that we've had this year.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That is approved. MVH.
I move for the approval of MVH Fund 1176 appropriation in the amount of $4,348.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Richard, a second from Councilman Basham for the MVH Fund 1176 appropriation in the amount of $4,348.
Same expenditure.
Same thing. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That is approved. Wheel tax.
I move for the approval of Will Tax Fund 4806 appropriation in the amount of $150,000.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Richard, a second from Councilman Basham for the Wheel Tax Fund 4806 appropriation in the amount of $150,000.
As you probably remember last year with COVID and the shortfalls, we discontinued the dust treatment last summer. We can see things are going well enough so far this year. We're going to go ahead and we have reinstituted the dust lay. That's what this funding's for.
Okay. Any other discussion?
One thing that I might, and I just noticed this now, this is something you're buying the stuff and we are applying it, correct?
No,
Okay,
this is a full service.
okay, all right. I was just thinking whether it should be a 2 series or a 3 series.
No,
but-
we actually, this
Okay.
year, when we started shopping around, we found that we could switch to calcium chloride material and application for about half of what we were
Okay,
doing on
okay.
emulsion.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That is approved.
Thank you.
Commissioners appropriation.
I'll make a motion, we approve General Fund 1000 in the amount of $500,000.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor from Councilman Murray, a second from Councilman Richard for the additional appropriation from the commissioners of $500,000. And thank you, fellas. Since Kathy left, I'd forgotten to get somebody to cover that.
Is that not on? Okay.
This is the second of the appropriation that we discussed at the previous meeting. This is all CARES money and the projects that were outlined when we talked about the receipt of those CARES funds. So those projects are coming to fruition. This project being one of them, the system in this room being one of them, that we're using these funds to pay for.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That is approved. Committee reports. Nothing at this point. Unfinished new business. Bob wanted to make sure we got the dates and times all covered very adequately. Is that why we got this repeated?
We just try and throw that on there every month, just so you know what's coming up, so it'll be on there a few more months yet.
Okay. Commissioner FYI.
All right, a couple of dates. I want to give you May 3rd, which is a Monday, at 11 a.m. We'll be doing a rededication of the bicentennial bison from the courthouse square. You may know it was damaged last year, and so it has been completely restored, and so we're going to have a rededication at 11 a.m. on the southwest corner of the courthouse square that will involve the original artist, Senator Ron Alting, who donated it, and some community folks who helped with that particular project. So we hope you can join us for that. Also on June 3rd from 5 to 7 at Riley Plaza, we'll be having a public recognition for Sally Fahey and her 45 years of service to Tippecanoe County. We're hoping to do that outside. It'll be an outside event, and so you'll be receiving an invitation to that event as well. The legislative session is wrapping up. This was truly a year where local government was playing defense. We're still playing defense on a number of very, very important bills. One of those will be voted on today. If you have any specific questions about legislative issues that are affecting county government, please reach out. If I don't have the answer, I'll be sure to get that answer for you. And then lastly, I'll just note that we don't have a lot of information to share yet, but the ARP committee on the stimulus funds has met for the first time, and thanks to Ben, Kevin, and Roland for participating in that committee. We are still waiting on a lot of clarification from Treasury on that. It's supposed to be out last week, and it wasn't. We're hoping it'll come in the next few weeks. But when we get further clarification, we'll be meeting rapidly so that we can get a plan together to present. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Tom, maybe I missed it. Maybe not clear on it. What's the bison represent?
So it was from the state's bicentennial in 2016. And so if you recall, there were a number of bisons across the community. Do you remember the frog project and the dog project and the pig project? Can't remember anything else that the art museum did. It was similar to that, where local artists painted a bison, and then they were auctioned off, and Senator Ron Alting bought this particular bison and then donated it.
Okay.
So it sat on the courthouse square well since 2016. And it's amazing the number of people that it attracts to the lawn of the courthouse. A lot of kids, are photographed sitting on it, that type of thing, and it's really a cool attraction to the courthouse square.
It's kind of coincidental. We have a business in Lafayette called Bison.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
just wondered where that came from.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Any public hearing for us this morning? Hearing none, I'll take the last motion.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.